Welcome to the show. Tucked behind me is a supercar. It is a WMD, a weapon of mass destruction. And obviously, no, we did not get another Porsche 911. So please take a guess in the comment section at what did we buy and put in the back of into that garage. And no, it's not a Bronco. We still have our Wild Track Bronco, so that's not gone. That's not gone. But guess what's in the garage? It fits every criteria of a supercar except for excessive price. It's not excessively. We call it a blue collar supercar. So please take a guess in the comment section. Here at Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, we bought a supercar to have fun, to enjoy, and because, well, this supercar is essentially free over time, because from the time you buy it to the time you sell it, you won't lose any money. So it's essentially a free supercar in the garage. Take a guess. Let's go take a look. All right, so I promise everyone, we still have the Bronco. That's not going anywhere. Wild Track Bronco, love it. 2023 with the Haas 3.0 suspension. Let's take a look in the garage here. What do we have? Bride seats in the back, little remote control Bronco. The Toyota MR2 still needing, well, still being very difficult to fix. But here it is in the Mustang garage. We finally have a Mustang back in the Mustang garage. We couldn't live without this, without a Mustang, but this isn't your ordinary Mustang. We've owned about 15 or more Mustangs, mostly GTs, 2.3 V6s, one EcoBoost, and this is the Mustang GT 350. Brought it in here because, well, we put a ceramic coating on it ourselves here on the channel, so you can check that out. Did a little ceramic detailer, but this is the real deal. This is the Mustang Shelby GT 350. Yes, it is a blue collar. It's a supercar. It's a blue collar supercar, but it's still a supercar nonetheless. With its 526 horsepower, it fits into the horsepower criteria, 429 pound-feet of torque, but it's also in a huge way a supercar because of the flat plane crankshaft engine, which allows, look at that, super high revs instead of trades in of some low end torque for some super high end revving fun. Incredible sound, one of a kind sound. So that fits this criteria for a supercar. It's got supercar speed, it's got supercar style, supercar fun. It fits into the weight category. So I'm gonna call this the blue collar supercar, a champ when it comes to being a blue collar supercar. And this thing originally was 81,000 Canadian. We picked it up for a little less, so it's barely depreciated over time. And when we sell it one day, we won't lose any money and probably make money. This thing only has 24,000 kilometers. So let's take it out for a test drive. All right, this is my first ride in the GT 350. Yes, it's the Mustang Shelby GT 350. It's not your ordinary GT. I've been waiting for this ride for several years. So far I haven't done much, but it's already pretty exciting. Oh, that flat plane crank V8, essentially a race engine, sounds amazing. Let's give it a little gas here. That's only 5,000 RPM and so much fun.
Where did you get that?
Decided to, couldn't help myself. Added a vehicle.
Where did you get that?
I got it from an individual.
I was just going to say the Porsche looks really nice with the hardtop on it. Looks better with the hardtop on it.
Yeah.
Than the convertible.
But what do you think of the GT 350?
Nice. What year is it?
It's a 2017.
Oh, yeah. Where'd you find that?
Someone had it for sale on the internet. I don't know why they'd ever sell it, but I guess they're looking to buy an Explorer ST 2025.
An Explorer?
Yeah.
ST, why?
Yeah. I guess they need the extra space.
Yeah, but what's special about the Explorer?
I don't know. The Explorer is powerful, 400 horsepower, 415 pound-feet of torque. But I think you and I prefer to have a Mustang.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that Mustang?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Surprised?
Oh yeah, I guess.
You're asking me when I'll sell it to you? When I'll trade? It's basically the color. It's not far off the color of the Porsche, like you said.
A little bit lighter.
You made a good point though about the dash. You're 21. What were you saying about the dash? You're 21.
This has a leather dash.
And this doesn't have a leather dash.
No.
But it has the flat plane crank V8.
Yeah.
So fantastic sound coming off this.
5.2 engine.
Yep, the
5.2 liter.
Voodoo engine, I guess is what they call it. You've got the 5 liter is the Coyote. The 5.2 liter is the Voodoo.
Why do they call it Voodoo?
Because the engine's magical. It's a magical engine.
Wow.
We'll have to take it out for a ride and see what you think. Sounds good?
Yeah.
You don't mind if I put the pedal to the metal?
No.
Oh, well, let's. We should get to doing that. And Paul here asked a great question. He asked, "What's the difference between a cross plane crank and a flat plane crank?" Excellent question, and we'll cover that in the episode as well.
I could live in this.
And surprisingly good fuel economy. We're at 10.3 before I gave it a little bit of the beans. Now we're up to 10.5 in the last 223 kilometers. So we've got the GT350 idling rate now, and well, 10.5 liters per 100 kilometers, was at 10.3, so actually a very fuel efficient V8. But let's hear it. It won't be as fuel efficient after this. So you've got that race car sound. It's just absolutely incredible, and that's due to the flat plane crank. Now when you've got your cross plane crank, you've got more low end torque, whereas with the flat plane crank you get a whole lot more RPM. So the 5 liter, for example, is a cross plane crankshaft, and well, it starts the red line at about 7,000, 7,250. So tons of low end torque. If it was a push rod engine, then well, you'd have even a much earlier red line. But the red line on this is very far down. Starts at 8,250, the red line, ends at 9,000, tops out at 9,000 RPM, and that's the benefit of the flat plane crankshaft. You've got a higher revving engine. You get, the downside is less low-end torque, but you get an engine that can rev really high, super high RPM. So that's the explanation, folks, if you've ever wondered the difference between the flat plane crank and the cross plane crankshaft. This thing is very comfortable. So we're inside the GT350, and we're gonna test out both exhaust in regular mode and when we turn it up. So we've got normal mode here. So remember, benefit of the cross plane crankshaft is a much higher revving engine, but with less low end torque. So the 5 liter, potentially better low end torque. This has a much higher revving engine with that race car sound that I'm loving. Now that's normal. Here we're in sport mode. Here it switch over. 3,000 RPM. That's just 6,000 RPM. So if you want more, you got to stay for the test drive, because we'll take it up to the 8,250, beginning of the red line. You've got someone out there who's very excited, said that he could live in here. And I definitely asked if I have insurance on it before we go out for the test drive. So stay tuned, folks. We'll go for a test drive. We'll probably see an older gentleman's reaction to this. A real Mustang lover, true Mustang lover, owns 2, and is trying to talk me into trading him this one. It brings up some really good points about the interior. For example, in his 2021 Mustang, center console here is made of leather on his 2021. And that's because, and this one isn't, even though it's a GT350, a Shelby, as the model progresses throughout its 5 to 8 year lifespan, what happens? They keep adding on little things, like the Bronco Badlands now having a leather dash. Well, this did not have a leather dash. It has like a fake stitching, fake soft touch, whereas his 2021 has a real leather dash. So there's benefits of getting a vehicle near the end of its generational lifespan. So stay tuned. We're gonna put the pedal to the metal on a road test, folks. You're gonna like this, and so are we. So let's go check out the engine bay here. I always like to leave it in first gear just in case the handbrake gives out. Real dashes on these 2017s. Fantastic suede interior, even on the door. Very comfortable. Suede and leather seats. There is one of the best engines ever made. All right, so we've got the GT350 out to get the RPMs up there. Oh, that's so fast. Woo. That's really, I'd almost say too fast. And we're in sport exhaust mode, and you can change the suspension. We're in sport suspension, so we're being tousled around more because, well, it's really made for a nice smooth racetrack. So I'm gonna put it into normal to get jostled less. There we go. No rev match like on the new ones.
Don't take that road. It's bumpy like hell.
Oh, it'll get better.
What do you mean it'll get better?
After this horrible section, it gets real smooth. All right, so another little pedal to the metal. Give it a little gas and let you listen to what this incredible engine sounds like. Oh, slipping. 6,800 RPM, big curve coming up, little windy mountain roads. But yeah, I know that's the GT350 in regular drive mode, normal mode, lets those tires spin a lot more than my 22 Mustang GT did. Love the sound. That's what's special with the flat plane crank engine. The sound is phenomenal. I know, but then again, you've got a 2021 and you love the sound on your 21.
Yeah.
And I gotta agree that the 5 liter just sounds incredible. But this 5.2 liter, well, potentially flat plane crank engine has less overall torque on the low end, has pretty good on the bumps, has a high rev limit. So that's how you get the high rev limit out of these V8s. Starts at 8,250 RPM, goes all the way to 9,000 RPM where it tops off. We're back on a bad road. Good suspension test, but the suspension on this is actually quite impressive for what I would argue is a supercar. It fits most of the criteria. The only criteria it doesn't fit is it doesn't have a supercar price, but it's rare. It's got an incredible, powerful engine with an incredible sound, like all supercars. Handles really well. Scares you. It's got a lot of the criteria of a supercar without that annoying last criteria, which is overly expensive. These are expensive, but it also holds its value. Like supercars. You buy a GT350 now and you just bought yourself a free vehicle because you'll drive it for 10 years and it'll be worth the same or more. And, this one has a lot of drive left in it with its 24,750 kilometers.
1
that supercar, crap your pants, piss yourself scared, because even in normal mode, this is violent. In normal mode, it just, the tires take off and the back end starts to get a little squirrely. You gotta, wonderful corners. Oh, this is a big one. Just woods all around, so you don't want to drive off the road because you're guaranteed to eat a tree. I already ate supper. We had pizza. It was good. We don't need to eat more. We'll leave tree eating off of the dessert menu this evening. No rev match, but you can do it yourself, just like that. You just push in the clutch, give it some gas, and then clutch out. Well, my GT with the X-Pipe, did I do the X-Pipe on the GT? No, I did the X-Pipe on the 2018, which didn't have active exhaust, and it was loud. It was more, almost sounded more violent than this. This with an X-Pipe must just be insane. Oh, maybe I have to install an X-Pipe.
No.
No, you find it's loud enough as it is?
No, don't install an X-Pipe. You'll ruin the value of the car.
Oh, that's true. I should just keep it all original. The X-Pipe there's a sound deadener. Legally, they have to add a sound deadener on the vehicles. It's a resonator box.
Yeah.
The resonator box is to cut down on sound.
Yeah.
But all it is essentially it's removing the resonator box. And you have H-pipes, where an H-pipe is just the two beams remove the resonator, the quiet box, and put a pipe in between, and that's for more of a muscle car sound. And an X-pipe is when you want more of a race car sound. And since this is a race engine, well then you throw on the X-pipe.
Okay.
The transmission is so wonderful. It's the Tremec. It's just great.
How does it feel different? That's a beautiful place now.
I'll clutch, put it in 6th. Go for it, put it in 6th. Put it back in 5th.
Maybe I should drive it.
Yeah, maybe you should. Put it back in 5th. I don't really want to put it in the rocks though.
Huh?
I don't want to put it in the rocks though.
Maybe.
I don't want to put it in the rocks because then it's going to pick up rocks in the paint.
I gotta remember I gotta clutch this thing.
That's right. Please do. You can see from my face that I'm clearly a little nervous, but then I did this all on my own.
You should do.
Now that was the bottom of the vehicle scraping out, but stay tuned, subscribe, and thank you to the members for helping make this happen, because we are going to continue to cover what makes the GT350 a supercar. We're going to talk more about that transmission and how that gearbox is phenomenal. It's absolute magic. The motor voodoo is absolute magic. We're also going to cover what happened to that Porsche 911 with the check engine, how we made it home, and what needs to be done. So stay tuned, folks.